Namaste. Welcome to this video on decoding monetary policy framework. Friends, 2 days back, our Reserve Bank Governor, Honorable Sri Shashikant Das, has declared the current monetary policy. When we were listening to that policy, we have come across various terminologies like repo, reverse repo, monetary policy stance, all those things. No, we always hear. While we understand this terminology in general terms, very few people, other than those having treasury of experience, have a clear idea on actual working of these instruments. On the day of the policy, every time when the policy is declared, on the day in the electronic media and the next day in the print media, we always read and hear that consequent upon the increase or reduction in the policy rate, the EMI will for housing loan will change to this level for 1 lakh rupees of the borrowing and so on and so forth. But does it happen practically? Many times we don't see that happening. Then what happens? Borrowers feels disillusioned and start blaming the bankers. In this video, efforts are to decode various instruments and their working. Friends, central banks does a lot of homework before every policy meet and takes very considered approach from short term, medium term and long term perspective. We will try to understand the monetary policy from various perspective and how various instruments are used by the central bank while preparing its monetary policy and how they are executed in practice. If we go by the textbook definition, monetary policy refers to the use of monetary instruments under the control of the central bank to regulate magnitudes such as interest rates, money supply and availability of credit with a view to achieving the ultimate objective of economic policy. Okay, so this is the textbook definition. Let us go to its objectives. Now let us discuss the main objectives of the monetary policy. There are three. Number one, to ensure price stability. Number two, to ensure financial stability. Number three, to ensure adequate availability of credit for growth. So when we are talking about the price stability, basically we are referring to the inflation control. As we are aware, most of the central banks in the world have switched over to the inflation targeted monetary policy. As a custodian of nation's wealth, central bank has to keep in mind the interest of every section of society, with more focus on unorganized and downtrodden who have least opportunity to voice their sufferings. Many of the sections, as we always listen and hear in the news, like industry bodies, trade bodies, they do have their formal platform to voice their grievances, be it a reduction in the rate of interest or any other issues which they are expecting Reserve Bank of India or the central bank of the country to address. However, this section which we refer to unorganized section has very few opportunities to voice their grievances. It is said that higher inflation hits most to the poor section as compared to the affluent class, and that is the reason the central bank always keeps in mind the interest of this section when taking the view on the price stability. Most of the central banks are very sensitive about the inflation targeting. Then coming to the financial stability, what is financial stability? In simple word, we can say that it is the ability of financial market to facilitate and enhance economic process, manage the risk and absorb shocks, which what we are witnessing during the current pandemic. In fact, monetary policy provides enabling environment towards achieving this object of financial stability. Wherever required, booster dose are provided by tweaking the monetary policy. As also when central bank finds that some bubble is being created in the system, it also puts the necessary safeguard in place. So financial stability is achieved both the way by giving the positive push as well as by introducing the controlling aspects whenever required. Third is adequate availability of credit for growth. Of course, the central bank, any central bank works on two counts when coming to this. Number one is providing adequate liquidity in the system so that both the sections of the lender, be it a banking segment or the housing finance companies or NBFCs, they have got adequate liquidity to provide the funds to the needy businessman. At the same time, the central bank also will ensure that the lending rates are kept at a desirable level so that the funds are not only available in ample quantity but they are also have the reasonable cost. So both these things are achieved by ensuring the use of various monetary policy instrument. Of course, what is the cost of the credit, that also will be decided and viewed by the central bank in line with its price stability and the present inflationary pressure along with the inflationary expectation. Because what we see in the numbers, that is headline CPI, we always call no, our inflation is this much CPI is this much. But in addition to the CPI, because whatever has come, it is a history, that is the past data. But in addition to the past data, central bank also focuses on the inflationary expectations. Central bank conducts such types of survey, and the data received from survey definitely brings a lot of value addition while taking the call on the issues related to the price stability. Now coming to the formal framework. In India, earlier we had a Reserve Bank of India Monetary Policy Department, which is still there also. But earlier, Reserve Bank of India used to announce the monetary policy at a pre-decided interval. Entire the homework, groundwork was done by the concerned department. In fact, Reserve Bank of India has got one of the finest economic research department, we can say, and it's really matter of proud. If we see the policy document, one will come to know what hard work they are putting in before declaring the policy. Day before yesterday's policy document is a 100-page document. It's a wonderful to read that document and get the insight about the various economic factors which the country is facing. So coming to the formal policy framework, India has set up a monetary policy committee by signing an agreement with the Reserve Bank of India on 20th February 2015, and this committee has formally come into effect on 27th of June 2016, right? This is basically based on the structure of the Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC. Okay, that was in effect as per Federal Reserve Act 1913. The MPC, there we can say FOMC is a formal committee which takes the decisions regarding the monetary policy after threadbare discussions. Similarly, monetary policy committee is also set up. There are 6 members of the committees, and there are 3 from the Reserve Bank of India and 3 are the independent members. This committee deliberates every time when the policy is to be announced. They are deliberating nowadays for 3 days with fast data input and analytical tools which are available with the Reserve Bank of India Economic Research Department. After 3 days deliberation, the committee takes calls by way of resolution on various issues, and the formal announcement is made by the Reserve Bank of India governor. When this policy framework was agreed between the RBI and the Government of India, it is they have been given the clear mandate to target the inflation at 4% with a band of plus or minus 2% from the year 2016-17 onwards. What does mean it? That the inflation should be within the range of 2 to 6%. 4% is the target, minus 2% means 2% only, plus 2% means it becomes 6%. So between the band of 2 and 6%, that is the mandate given to the Reserve Bank of India. If for any consecutive 3 quarters the inflation remains outside this band, then the Reserve Bank of India is required to submit a report to the Government of India why this breach happened, giving the reasons for such breach and also time schedule in which it expects the inflation to come within the band. So in line with the global practices and many of the practices followed in the developed countries like USA, UK, we have switched over from one person decision to the committee level decision, which brings collective wisdom to the table. And we see the members, all the members are the esteemed and prominent authorities in their field, and definitely they bring all the expertise and wisdom when the call is taken on the monetary policy. Now we also listen to various words like this time the policy has a dovish stance, or this time the policy has a neutral stance, or hawkish stance, or tight monetary policy. This is a easy money policy, this is a tight money policy. What does this mean? Let us try to understand it in a very simple words. When we say that the policy is a dovish or easy money policy or accommodative policy, what does this indicate? This indicates two things. The central bank's intention to have a lower interest rate. Okay. So at least in the near future. Under this system, and how this is achieved? Under this system, central bank would maintain surplus liquidity by injecting liquidity using various tools in the system. So both interest rate as well as availability of the funds, these are the two targets. So naturally, when you are providing higher level of liquidity, automatically it gives you the lower interest rate. But at the same time, it has got other tool also, repo rate, where also they will use it for giving the signal to the market. We will discuss that when we will come to that instruments. But basically when we say it is a dovish policy or easy money policy or accommodative policy, that means lower interest rate regime, and the central bank will ensure adequate surplus in the liquidity system. Surplus liquidity always will be there. So banks will not be worried about finding the resources for lending to the customers or borrowers. Then neutral. What is the neutral policy? It means that the central bank as of now is undecided about the future course. They want to hold it, put in the neutral gear, whether to tilt towards dovish or hawkish. They are undecided. For this time being, they want to watch the existing situation or evolving situation, and probably they will take the call in the next meeting. So it is a on hold, a neutral gear. So under such this situation or stance, we can say the central bank will ensure that there is neither surplus in the system, liquidity in terms of the liquidity, nor there is a deficit. So they can switch on either side whenever they want. It's easy to switch on the hawkish or dovish if the situation or the liquidity is a neutral. So neither banks are having surplus funds nor they are facing the liquidity deficit. So such situation is created by the central bank, and if such situation is there, we call it a neutral policy. Okay. Then third is the hawkish or tight monetary policy. Whenever central bank feels that inflationary expectations are building up, as I said, not only past inflation numbers matters, but central bank is equally worried about the future expectations, and that is what household inflation expectations survey is also conducted. And if the people feel that down the line inflation is going to go up substantially, and other data and analysis supports such observations, definitely the central bank takes a tough stand. Tough stand, it means to control the demand, and the demand control comes through the increasing the rate of interest or making the liquidity tight. So this policy or this stance is called hawkish. It means they want to rein in the inflation, and to control the inflation, the Reserve Bank or the central bank may take further steps. This is a third stand. And in such things, the normally what we will see, the other than announcing the hawkish stance or tight money stance, they will also ensure that the system liquidity is in deficit. Okay, so bank must face the liquidity pressure so that they will control the expansion of their credit. This is how this stance is looked upon. Now coming to the various instruments used in the monetary policy, as I said, we always listen to repo, reverse repo. What is this? Let us understand this. What is the repo rate, which is also known now as a policy rate? Earlier we used to call bank rate as a policy rate, because the Reserve Bank of India used to extend the liquidity support to the banks by using the bank rate. But now bank rate is hardly active instrument, though it is declared with every policy. Most of the things have become now driven by the repo and reverse repo. In fact, it's a beautiful corridor that the Reserve Bank of India has created by introducing this repo and reverse repo. It means they have given you the railway track. Okay, they have provided railway track to the market that you can't go beyond this. Both sides there is a fencing, there are the signals, and if you try the system, not an individual, if the system tries to go outside this, then there's a controller is there to bring you on the track. That is what beautiful interest rate corridor they have created. So let us understand the repo rate. What is this repo rate? As I said, that is a policy rate also. Now repo is conducted in a various manner. One is the fixed rate. That means Reserve Bank of India. Before that, let us understand what is the importance of repo rate for the banks. Under repo, banks borrow from the Reserve Bank of India against the specified securities. These are mostly central government securities or state government securities. Okay, so now there is no free lunch. Now the days are gone when the plain vanilla lending and borrowing was done by the Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India also has become equally professional. Whenever they lend to the banker, they will take the securities from the bank with keeping a certain margin also. Okay, and naturally this security should be over and above the SLR requirement of the bank. So unless and until you have the surplus securities in your portfolio after meeting your SLR requirement, you cannot borrow from the Reserve Bank of India under repo. Okay, so if it is clear, then we will go to the rate structure of this repo rate. It is two types of repo they are conducting. They are ready to lend to the banks at a fixed rate. That is called a fixed rate repo normally, and this is a repo rate only. What we call it a 4% now. So irrespective of the bidding, whatever demand comes from the bank, they will charge all the borrowers the same rate, that is 4%. Okay, so it is a fixed, but the amount definitely is linked to your NDTL. So it is not an unlimited supply where the banks can borrow to whatever extent they want. There is a fixed, this rate is varies and declared by the Reserve Bank of India from time to time. Sometimes it is 1% vagara. So it depends on the liquidity situation. The other is variable. If the RBI finds that the system needs a liquidity injection more than the what is permitted under the fixed rate repo, they announce that okay, we will supply 1 lakh crores or 50,000 crores or 70,000 crores on a particular date. The announcement is made in advance, either earlier day or earlier 2 days, 3 days also, and the banks can bid for that. So it is a market driven interest rate. Naturally this will not be of the market, because again there is a one more instrument with the RBI which we will discuss on the next slide, but it will be very near to the repo rate, maybe 5 basis point, 10 basis point down the line, up or up only. It cannot be below repo, it is has to be above repo rate. So if it is a 4% repo, banks will be for 4.01, 4.02, 4.03 or 4.05, like that. So based on the how much requirement is there in the system, higher the deficit, higher will be the bidding rate, lower the deficit, lower will be the bidding rates, and based on that the RBI will allot the this फंडिंग टू द बिडिंग बैंक्स बेस्ड ऑन ए कटअप. अगर देखो इसमें बैंक्स 50,000 है, बैंक के 17,000 के बिड आए हैं, तो 50,000 तक जो कटअप रेट आ जाएगा वो रेट से RBI विल गिव द दिस फंड्स टू द बैंक. सो इट इज़ अ मार्केट ड्रिवन बेस्ड ऑन द बिडिंग. ये दो प्रकार के रेपो होते हैं. बट इसमें क्या हो जाता है, आप देखो कि अपर साइड जो है ना, RBI ने कैप कर दिया है कि भाई आज 4% है, कॉल अगर 5% से जाता है कॉल में, इट इज़ वेरी प्लेन बिटवीन द बैंक्स, नो, तो डेफिनेटली RBI विल कम विथ अनाउंस, ओके वी आर लेंडिंग 50,000. नेक्स्ट सेकंड द कॉल रेट्स विल क्रैश, बिकॉज market knows that RBI is going to supply at 4.05, 4.02, 4.03, so nobody will borrow at 5%. so वो जो मार्केट जो कॉरिडोर के बाहर जाने की कोशिश कर रहा था, विद इन मिनट, 1 मिनट के अंदर वो अपने कॉरिडोर पे आके खड़ा हो जाएगा. सो दैट इज़ हाउ दीज रेट्स आर अपर साइड आर कैप्ड बाय यूजिंग द रेपो. सिमिलरली ऑन द बॉटम साइड इट इज़ अ रिवर्स रेपो. अभी बैंक्स के पास बहुत पैसा है, 15,000 है, 20,000 कोटी किसी बैंक के पास, देर इज़ नो बडी इन द मार्केट, तो क्या होगा, they will try to lend even at 1%, 0.5%, even 0.25, because anything excess is left, it will be with the current account of the RBI, where the bank will not get it anything, no interest is received. तो क्या करोगे, मुझे अगर मेरे पास 5,000 कोटी है, 10,000 कोटी किसी बैंक के पास है, तो डेफिनेटली वट एवर रेट इज़ अवेलेबल दैट बैंक विल ट्राई टू डिप्लॉय. बट डाउन द लाइन क्या होगा, ड्यूरिंग दिस कोर्स योर इंटरेस्ट रेट कॉरिडोर इज ब्रीच्ड, इट इज़ गोइंग बिलो outside the tracks. So here it comes in the picture, reverse repo system, where RBI comes and say, it is RBI says, okay whatever surplus you have, you dump with us, हमें दे दो, we will borrow at the reverse repo rate. The current reverse repo rate is 3.35 and repo rate is 4%. so ऊपर 4%, नीचे 3.35%. so all these banks, they will be free to deposit with the RBI in the reverse repo. so nobody will lend in the market below 3.35. अगर मुझे पता है कि मैं शाम को 3.35 से रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया को मेरा 5,000 कोटी दे दूंगा, मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. वाई शुड आई गो टू द मार्केट एंड हंट फॉर 2% और 3% बारोवर. so I will not lend anything below 3.35%. so automatically this corridor will be protected between 3.35 and ऊपर 4%. so 65 basis spread, that is what RBI has stipulated in their policy. तो ये रास्ते में ही हम चल सकते हैं, चलेंगे, क्योंकि दूसरे ज़रूरत नहीं है. ऊपर RBI बैठा है हमें सपोर्ट करने के लिए, नीचे RBI बैठा है हमें सपोर्ट करने के लिए, हमें प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए. सो दिस कॉरिडोर वर्क्स. व्हाट इज़ द रिवर्स रेपो? रिवर्स रेपो मीन्स अंडर दिस द बैंक्स कैन park their funds with the Reserve Bank of India. And here also the Reserve Bank of India doesn't borrow you on a plain vanilla basis, they give you the government securities, okay, which are also counted for the SLR requirement if required by the bank. so there is no plain vanilla transactions here also. आपको notionally उतना government securities आपको मिल जाता है. so between this reverse repo and this repo, a corridor is created by the Reserve Bank of India, and that is the beauty of the money market. By doing this interest rate corridor, entire volatility in the money market has been brought to the order by the Central Bank of India. रिजर्व हम पहले देखते थे, कभी 75% तक देखा था मैंने. आई हैव सीन द कॉल मनी फॉर ए सिंगल डे गोइंग टू 75%. so under such volatility, definitely markets will get distorted. It will be difficult for the banks and also for the businesses to manage their liquidity. But with these two in place now, absolutely the interest rate corridor is very strong and it is working very smoothly. What I have seen at least during last 10-15 years, absolutely there is no distortions. And with this RTGS and NFT now round the clock going on, banks definitely needs such a assured supply of the funds as well as also opportunity to deploy if they have the surplus. So it indicates a higher level of efficiency. In fact, earlier this corridor was very narrow. Recently the RBI has widened it by making it 65%. Ideally it should be 25 basis point or at the most 50 basis point. That is what was targeted earlier, and it was working smoothly. Maybe because for some particular reason RBI has widened it to 65 basis point during the current situation. But the narrower the spread, the more the efficient money market it will be. फ्रेंड्स, एज आई सेड, वन मोर थिंग इज़ देयर कि सपोज आपको रेपो भी नहीं है, रिवर्स रेपो भी नहीं है, सॉरी रेपो नहीं है, मार्केट रेपो नहीं है, फिक्स रेट रेपो नहीं है, एंड इन एडिशन टू दैट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे you require the funds. In that case, again, there's a possibility of the distortion can happen in interest rates. So I will be desperate to borrow. I will go to the market and I will try to borrow whatever is available. So to avoid such situation also, Reserve Bank of India has provided wonderful instrument called a marginal standing facility, MSF. So even after business hours also, MSF is available to the banks, where under which Reserve Bank of India lends to bank at a slightly higher rate, say 0.25% higher rate. So by providing this one more buffer, the central bank ensures a very, very smooth functioning of the money market, and that is how the presently the Indian money markets are operating. It is one of, we can say with proud that Indian money markets are most efficient, as I have seen working of many of the foreign centers, money markets, and we can say like Hong Kong, UK, New York, being having worked in international division, and where we have to deploy and borrow in the international markets. Our market is well comparable with these even developed money market centers like New York, Hong Kong, or London. So now this let us come to the other things, that is interest rate. We have discussed about the liquidity, how the liquidity is managed by the Reserve Bank of India very efficiently through interest rate corridor, supply and absorbing the surplus or excess liquidity depending on its stance. Now coming to the open market, OMO also, we have heard that RBI is coming with the OMO. So OMOs are of 2 point, open market operations we say. So what are these? These are operations, or these are the instruments which are targeting the interest rate movement. So what happens here also, demand supply comes in the picture, and these are the basics of the open market operations. Suppose Reserve Bank of India feels कि yield, जिसको हम करंट मार्केट रेट और करंट इंटरेस्ट रेट जो इसको बोलते हैं, सिंपल लैंग्वेज में बताता हूँ, उनको लगता है कि जैसा 10 ईयर गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी का यील्ड जो है ये 6.10 6.15 मार्केट में चल रहा था, थोड़ा ये ज़्यादा हो गया है, ये कम होना चाहिए. क्योंकि ये कम क्यों, ज़्यादा क्यों हो रहा है? देयर इज़ अ लेस डिमांड फॉर द गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज. पीपल आर more sellers are there than the buyers. That is why this interest rate goes up. Because सिक्योरिटी मार्केट में क्या होता है, जैसा इंटरेस्ट रेट ऊपर जाता है सिक्योरिटी की प्राइस उतनी कम होती है. ओके, दिस इज इनवर्स प्रपोर्शन जो होता है प्राइस एंड यील्ड. सो 6.10, RBI फील नॉट कंफर्टेबल विद दिस 6.10. ओके, दे फील दैट यू शुड बी अराउंड 6%. तो ठीक है, व्हाट दे डू, बातें करेंगे, वो कुछ इंडिकेशन देंगे. अगर उसके बाद भी डीलर सुनते नहीं हैं तो व्हाट दे विल डू, दे विल अनाउंस द बायबैक, ओपन मार्केट परचेसेस. ओके, दे विल से ओके वी विल बी बाइंग 25,000 crore सिक्योरिटी और 10,000 crore सिक्योरिटी और 15,000 crore सिक्योरिटी फ्रॉम द मार्केट. suddenly demand is created by the Reserve Bank of India or central bank, and as a result your yield level will come down immediately because there are buyers. So sellers will keep quiet. सेलर बोलेंगे चलो मुझे अच्छा प्राइस मिलेगा, सो योर सेलर्स विल गो डाउन, योर बायर्स विल कम इन पिक्चर. वो बोलेंगे ठीक है, अरे रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया चलो बाय कर रहा है तो आई विल ऑल्सो बाय सो दैट आई कैन सेल टू द RBI or the central bank. This is how OMO purchases work. So it controls the your interest rate, current interest rate, which is known as the market yield. Okay, so yield नीचे लाना है तो OMO purchase करेंगे. Along with this interest movement control, it also works in other way also, because when RBI buys the security, rupee will come to the markets, so liquidity भी market में बढ़ जाएगा. So twin objective इसमें RBI के अचीव हो जाते हैं. रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट yield भी नीचे लाओ और सिस्टम में लिक्विडिटी भी डाल दो, सो मनी मार्केट में भी कंफर्ट आ जाएगा और आपका बॉन्ड मार्केट या इसमें भी यील्ड सॉफ्ट हो जाएगा. सो ट्विन ऑब्जेक्टिव इसमें अचीव होते हैं. एग्जैक्टली उसके अपोजिट, अगर उनको लगता है कि यील्ड जो है बहुत कम हो रहे हैं, बिकॉज RBI डजंट वांट टू दैट एनी सेंट्रल बैंक फॉर दैट मैटर. हियर व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस वीडियो रिजर्व बैंक, you can take it, this is good for every central bank. Since we are talking about Indian market, I am referring to the RBI, but this is good for any central bank in the world. उनको लगता है सेंट्रल बैंक में, सो अल्टरनेटिवली दैट इज व्हाई आई एम यूजिंग द वर्ड RBI एंड सेंट्रल बैंक. उनको लगता है कि यील्ड ज़्यादा नीचे जा रहा है, दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट गुड, नो. सो उसमें उस समय क्या करेगा, इन एडिशन टू द रेगुलर ऑक्शंस, शेड्यूल्ड ऑक्शंस जिसमें गवर्नमेंट बोरोइंग होता है, दैट इज एज पर कैलेंडर, दैट इज प्री डिसाइडेड, प्री नोन टू द मार्केट. इन एडिशन टू दैट RBI will come with announcement that tomorrow I am selling 10,000 crores का सिक्योरिटी इन द मार्केट. क्या हो गया, यहाँ सडनली सप्लाई मार्केट में बढ़ गया है. जैसा ही सप्लाई बढ़ने का मतलब क्या होता है, योर प्राइसेस विल फॉल. प्राइसेस फॉल सिक्योरिटी का क्या मतलब क्या होता है, इंटरेस्ट रेट विल गो अप, सो करंट यील्ड विल गो अप टू सम एक्सटेंट. ओके, दिस इज नंबर 1 ऑब्जेक्टिव. नंबर 2 क्या होता है, when RBI sells security, it will take out the rupee from the market. तो मार्केट में जो सरप्लस लिक्विडिटी है, दैट आल्सो दे आर टेकिंग आउट ऑफ द सिस्टम. ओके, सो दे आर हिटिंग 2 ways. एक तो आपका इंटरेस्ट करंट यील्ड भी बढ़ जाएगा, दूसरा मनी मार्केट भी टाइट हो जाएगा टू सम एक्सटेंट, टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ द अमाउंट ऑफ द सिक्योरिटी. सो दे आर मेकिंग 2 things वेरी क्लियर कि ज़्यादा आप सस्ते मत करो. ओके, रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट ज़्यादा कम मत करो, आपका ये है. एंड स्लाइटली वी आर मेकिंग योर लाइफ डिफिकल्ट बाय टेकिंग आउट द लिक्विडिटी. दैट मीन्स वी डोंट वांट सच अ excess liquidity in the system as well as also lower interest rates. So by using these two, again they can create the corridor here, interest rate corridor, though it is not effectively used or it is not supposed to be used that frequently as in the case of the money market. This is a medium term objective which central banks uses prudently depending on its observations and its objective. हम लोग बोलते हैं RBI क्यों नहीं करता, ये क्यों नहीं करता है, they have all the thinking in their mind, but the timing is decided by the central bank and not by the market. Market also always expects something, but the central bank responds when it is a proper time. Now, as we in the first slide we said the rate transmission, RBI ने रेट कट कर दिया, नेक्स्ट डे अगेन ऑल द पेपर्स स्टार्ट्स गिविंग द कैलकुलेशंस. EMI कम क्यों नहीं होता है, ये 1 लाख के लिए इतना EMI कम होगा, इतना ये होगा, इतना वो होगा. And again there is always criticism also कि the repo rate has come down during last 1 year by say 100 basis point, but the banks have not passed on the entire to the customer. So friend, very objectively, without going into those other things, very objectively as a third party, we will discuss it. If we see the balance sheet of the bank, it is a we have other like capital and reserves, CASA, borrowing, term deposits and other liabilities. Now coming to these, anyhow capital reserve doesn't bear any interest. CASA you can definitely take with the saving rate immediately and bring down your cost of deposit. Okay, what about borrowings? Borrowings you can't tweak because your borrowings could be long term, like a refinance वगैरह 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, or you must have raised, the bank must have raised the bonds from the market. So 5 years वगैरह, unless there is a put call option, we cannot exercise those. So in that nature, that is a borrowing cost is freezed. We cannot reduce it up immediately. Same thing with the term deposit. If we take this term deposit portion and borrowing, it is more than 50-60% of each bank. So if my say particular bank has a CASA of 50%, that means another 50% portion minus with some that is your fixed interest. Okay, so term deposit and borrowing is a fixed deposit component, fixed interest rate component of the bank's balance sheet. It cannot be brought down immediately. Okay, if we see the advances side or asset side, the investment in the AFS and HFT as well also loans and advances, मोस्टली दे आर फ्लोटिंग. तो इसमें आप अगर इंटरेस्ट रेट कम करेंगे तो इमीडिएटली इफेक्ट आ जाएगा. मंथली इंटरेस्ट रेट कैलकुलेशन होता है, सो इमीडिएटली बैंक विल गेट द हिट ऑन दिस साइड. सो इंटरेस्ट इनकम कम हो जाएगा, बट इंटरेस्ट आउटफ्लो विल नॉट बी रिड्यूस टू द proportionate this to that extent. In investment also, HTM, we presume that the investment is held to the maturity. Practically it doesn't happen. Many times it is a shifted and the encashment is done, but for theoretically we say that even if we particular security buy karte hai and if we hold it till the maturity, we will get the interest rate. That is why I have taken it separately. But investment in AFS and HFT, they are mark to market, so they are also sensitive to the rate of interest. And loans and advances, in case of very public sector bank, most of the 90%, more than 99% you can say, it is a fixed rate, floating rate. Hardly 1 or 2% is the component which carries the fixed rate for housing or some other purpose. Very small amount is there. Yes, in case of foreign banks and private, the percentage may be slightly higher, but overall your fixed rate portion is very, very low. So mostly your loans and advances and investments in AFS and HFT, it is a floating rate. So this uneven balance, it takes time to get adjusted, and that is why banks find it difficult to transmit the rate to the borrowers immediately after the policy rates are reduced. Another thing, under the policy rate, banks borrowing is very, very minimal, not even 1%. 1% is a very high amount. So most of the time banks are managing their liquidity with their deposits, borrowings, and your reserves, their own funds, which we call it own funds. So this repo rate is give the signal to the market, but actual funds cost will not come down to that extent immediately, and that is why there is always time lag between the reduction in the policy rate and transmission to the ultimate customers. This will be possible whenever your more borrowings will for the customers come from the market, like bonds or commercial papers, and for the banks also they switch over to the floating deposit side, which is a prevalent practice in Western markets, where the deposit rates are decided on daily basis. So both the sides can be adjusted immediately, but so long as our system is having fixed rate term deposit, which is also required considering our particular economic situations prevailing in the country, or our saving instruments and other options available to our depositors. So this time lag will be there, and that is the reason this sometime transmission takes time. Now coming to the recent policy, now come to our earlier discussion, and we will see how it fits there. For example, we discuss about the stance. Now let us see what is this. With this stance, the lion, which is the symbol of the Reserve Bank of India, has clearly said that we are in the accommodative. So market takes it that for the time being, this rate of interest are going to be soft. Okay, then it also says that liquidity is going to be surplus in the system, and as we say, on 8th of October, all the banks taken together, system liquidity is surplus to the extent of 5,78,000 crores. In fact, 5,45,000 crores are parked by all the banks with the Reserve Bank of India at 3.35%. That shows that system is having a huge surplus liquidity, and that is the very intention of the Reserve Bank of India as they pronounce their policies. Then what is the factors that influence? Okay, what I could gather from their various discussions and policy document, that considering the GDP for the June at minus 23.90, and the projections given by the Reserve Bank of India as well as the World Bank and other agencies, that India may end up with a negative GDP growth of 9 to 10% for FY21. So this is a very big concern for the central bank. The second is inflation, because there is always trade-off between growth and inflation. Okay, if government wants the growth should be pushed, and the Reserve Bank of India or the central bank of any country targets that inflation should be under control. Here the inflation is 6.69 for August, but as per the reading of the Reserve Bank of India, this is more because of the supply chain disturbances because of the pandemic, and it is likely that once the normal transportations comes in place, the supply chain will be improved and the inflation will be under control. So here the focus remained on the growth, and that is the reason probably the Reserve Bank of India has continued accommodative stand and surplus liquidity system. This is all I wanted to share with you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be very happy to receive feedback on this video. Thank you so much.